Next, we are move on to the eighth session. That's the last session. Now I invite Professor Jamil Ahmed, Department of Computer Science and IT, Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Hyderabad. Uh, he has he has more than 10 years of experience. Uh, he is pursuing PhD degree from NIT Srinagar. His areas of interest, his research area is Internet of Things, machine learning, wireless sensor networks. He has published more than 10 journals, reputed journals, and he has participated more conferences and published his papers, many of the proceedings, and presented more than 10 papers in national and international level. Uh, It's our immense pleasure to introduce our Jamil Ahmed sir. Welcome, sir. Jamil Ahmed sir, welcome. Please take
Thank
it.
you so much. Thank you so much, sir. I'm very thankful to organizers of the conference, Cap Cameron Trust and Dr. Athar Aziz Rana Sahab. I'm very thankful to you for inviting me as the session chair. So, first of all, this is the last session of the conference. So, I'm congratulating to the organizers for completing this conference and all these sessions. So, in this session, we have around 10 papers, and we'll try to complete this session in around 1 hour or 1 hours and 20 minutes. So every participant can have 6 minutes for their presentation plus 1 or 2 minutes for question answers. So I request each and every participant to present their paper in this session. So for this session, now I request first author, that Mr. Sagar Vasudev. I welcome him and I request him to present paper, and the title of the paper is Voice Recognition for English Vowels Using ANN. So I request Mr. Sagar, if he is here. Okay, let us proceed towards second author, Mr. Pranav Sharma. Mr. Pranav Sharma, sir, are you there? Next, A. Shiba.
Yes,
A.
sir.
Shiba. Please, ma'am, please present your paper.
Okay, sir.
And the title of the paper is Relatively Prime Non-Split Geometric Number of a Graph.
Is visible, sir?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Shiba, Research College, under the guidance of Dr. Shri J. Sharan, Associate Professor, Department of Mathematics, Pioneer Kumaraswamy College, Nagarkoil. First of all, some basic definition using in my topic. First, what is geodetic set and a geodetic number? An xy path of length d of x comma y is called a geodesic. A vertex v is said to lie on a geodesic P if V is the internal vertex of P. The closed interval I of x comma y consists of x comma y and all the vertices lying on some xy geodesics of G. And for the non-empty set S containing V of G, I of S is equal to union of x comma y belong to S. I of closed interval x comma y. A set S containing V of G in a connected graph is a geodetic set of G if I of S is equal to V of G. The geodetic number of G is denoted by G of G is the minimum cardinality of the geodetic set of G. The geodetic number of a disconnected graph is the sum of the geodetic number of its component. A geodetic set of cardinality G of G is called the G of G set. Definition of line graph. The line graph L of G of a graph G is a graph whose vertices are vertices are the edges of G and the two vertices of L of G are adjacent if the corresponding edges of G are adjacent. Jump graph, definition of jump graph. The jump graph J of G of a graph G is a graph whose vertex at E of G in which two vertices are adjacent if and only if they are non-adjacent in G. Definition of non-split geodetic number. A set of vertices S in a graph G is a non-split geodetic set if S is a geodetic set and the induced subgraph V of G minus S is connected. The minimum coordinate of a non-split geodetic set is denoted GNS of G is called the non-split geodetic number of G. The definition of relative plane geodetic number of a graph. A set S contained V is said to be the relatively plane geodetic set if it is a geodetic set with at least 3 elements and the shortest distance between any two pair of vertices in S is relatively plane. The relatively plane set of G is denoted by GRP of G set. The coordinate of a minimum relatively plane geodetic set is the relatively plane geodetic number and it is denoted by GRP of G. In this paper, we introduced the relatively plane non-split geodetic number of a graph. Definition: a set S contained V of G is said to be a relatively plane non-split geodetic set in a graph G if S is a relatively plane geodetic set of G and either S is V or the induced subgraph V of G minus S is connected. The relatively plane non-split geodetic set is denoted by GRPNS of G. The minimum coordinate of relatively plane non-split geodetic set is the relatively plane non-split geodetic number and it is denoted by GRPNS of G. Consider this example. The set S is equal to V3, V5 is a geodetic set. Now S dash is equal to V3, V5, V6 is the relatively plane geodetic sense since distance of V3, V5 is equal to 2, distance of V3, V6 is equal to 1, and distance of V5, V6 is equal to 1. And 2, 1 is equal to 1, 1 is equal to 1, 2 is equal to 1. The greatest common divisor is 1. Now, the induced subgraph V of V minus S dash is a disconnector. So, S dash is not a relatively plane non-split geodetic set. Now, consider S double dash is equal to V3, V4, V5, V6. Clearly, this double dash is the relatively plane geodetic set and the induced subgraph V minus S double dash is connected. Hence, S double dash is the relatively plane non-split geodetic set of G. Moreover, it has the minimum coordinate with this property and hence GRPNS of G is equal to 4. Theorem: for a connector graph, if the relatively plane non-split geodetic set is exists, then GRPNS of G is greater than or equal to 3. Let G be a connector graph of order n, then each relatively plane non-split geodetic set of G contains an extreme vertices. Each end vertex of G belongs to the relatively plane non-split geodetic set of G. Next, for the complete graph Kn, for n is greater than or equal to 3, relatively plane non-split geodetic set of complete graph is equal to n. Next, for a connector graph of order n, if GRPNS of G exists, then G of G is less than or equal to GRP of G is less than or equal to GRPNS of G is less than or equal to n. Remark: for the complete graph n is greater than or equal to 3, geodetic of Kn is equal to relative plane geodetic of Kn is equal to relative plane non-split geodetic of Kn is equal to n. Hence all the inequalities in theorem 4 become solved. Now consider the graph G in given figure 1. The set S is equal to V3, V5 is a geodetic set of G, and so G of G is equal to the set S dash equal to V3, V5, V6 is the minimum relative plane geodetic set of G. So GRP of G is equal to 3. The set S double dash equal to V3, V4, V5, V6 is a minimum relatively plane non-split geodetic set of G, and so GRPNS of G is equal to 4. Thus, G of G is less than GRP of G is less than GRPNS of G is less than n. Hence, all the inequalities in theorem 4 become strict. Let G be the connector graph of order n. If geodetic of G is equal to n, then relative plane non-split geodetic of G is also n. For a path graph, for order n, GRPNS of Pn is equal to 3, for n is greater than or equal to 3. For a cycle graph of even order n, GRPNS of Cn is equal to 3, if n is equal to 4, 0 otherwise. For cycle graph of odd order n is greater than or equal to 3, GRPNS of Cn equal to 3 if n is equal to 3, 0 otherwise. For the complete bipartite graph k m comma n, GRP ns of k m comma n 3 if m is equal to n is equal to 2, 0 otherwise. If diameter of G is equal to 1, then GRP ns of G is equal to G of G. Next, the line graph of cycle graph of order n. GRP ns of L of Cn is equal to 3 if n is equal to 3, 4, 0 otherwise. Line graph of path graph of order n, then GRP ns of L of Pn is equal to 3 for n is greater than or equal to 5. The line graph of star graph of k1 comma n, then GRP ns of L of k1 comma n is equal to n. The jump graph of path jump of path graph n is greater than or equal to 4, then GRP ns of j of Pn equal to 3 if n is equal to 5, 0 if n not equal to 5. Note, for n is equal to 3, j of P3 is equal to 2 copies of K1, which has 2 isolated vertices, and hence the geodetic set does not exist. These are my references. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. If anyone having any about the presentation? Thank you so much, ma'am. I am not having any question because this is not my area. So proceeding further, now I am requesting Mr. Manoj Kumar Chaurasia to present his paper.
Thank you, sir.
Manoj, present.
Hello, sir.
Okay. So the title of the paper is Evolution on Large-Scale Data Financial Crisis Data Using KLR SVM with Big Data.
Okay, sir. This is my screen visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, sir. My topic is evolution on large-scale data, financial crisis data using.
Please put on your presentation.
No.
Screen is visible, but your presentation is not visible.
Okay.
Just switch for the presentation. Open the presentation.
Share your presentation. Manoj, share your presentation.
Okay. 1 minute, sir. One minute, wait, sir.
Okay.
This is visible. Okay.
Yes.
My
Put it
topic
on
is evolution on large-scale data, financial crisis data using KLR SVM with big data, presented by Manoj Kumar Chaurasia, research scholar, Department of Computer Science, Madhyanchal Professional University, Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. These are abstract. Recently, machine learning techniques have become very popular because of its effectiveness. This study applies kernel logistic regression KLR SVM to credit risk classification in the attempting to suggest a model with better classification accuracy. Credit risk classification is an interesting and important data mining problem in financial analysis domain. In this study, the optional parameter values, regulation, and kernel functions of KLR are funded by the using of a search techniques with 5-fold cross validation. These are the effectiveness of the KLR SVM method and classifying credit risk. That keywords are used: logistic regression, financial risk data classification SVM, and kernel logistic regression, that is KLR. And these are introduction. Financial risk prediction has been a hot topic for 5-year importance, and the simplification of automaticity by the non-default or non-breaking and developing the learn from emerging data sets over the decades. They can be categorized in the 3 major groups: resampling, cost-sensitive learning, and assembling techniques. Previously, researchers have provided that the classes embedded and likely to research in the delegation. These are the financial problems in the last year. Some works have studied and performed in the relation model and the financial risk. Overview of the typical machine learning. These are the pipeline that is used for data, features plus levels. These are three layers: training test, validation test, and testing set. These are the pre-processing, ordinary function, trainings, modification and testing and predictor. These are the points of also discussed in motivation. These points are used for financial risk motivation. This is the different effects are the driving factor on the research. The financial impact of product activity in mostly crypto system. A large number of organizations and individuals are victim to social cultural impact. Therefore, the financial impact of the fractal and activities in the key factor that drove this research initiative. Moreover, there are the several challenges, and second is the challenges of fund detection. That is the detection a process have to grant sufficient power and past 5 years adopting potential of satisfactory based methodology and have analyzing massive amounts of the data, discover fraud patterns and machines. Still, fraud remains enormous challenges to detect. The next is the dynamic patterns of fraud are highly challenging, especially for the systems that are rely on supervised learning models. These systems can detect fraud patterns based on the training dataset, consist of the patterns occurred, and the fraud sets never stop producing new fragment. Next is the real-time fraud detection. These are based in idea solution on financial institution because our real-time systems may have financial losses. However, detecting fragments activities in real time forest different challenges are to the system. The three main challenges which identify our the study include of the following. First, the speed of which data too difficult to process and analyze. Second is the computational complexity of the fraud analysis in Hug. And third is the building a high performance algorithm for you for data intensive applications in non-trivial. That is the conclusion. Business intelligence is the rapidly evolving field carrying treatments potential for improving efficiency and the competitiveness of correspondence areas. Data mining and machine learning are useful tools for the field, can extract valuable information from big data to aid business strategies. This investing the adaptation of the several popular models, the machine learning algorithms for forecasting business failure, corporate bank, then this information can help government investors, managers, and other stakeholders make intelligent economic decisions to avoid financial losses. Two very different databases of companies in the manufacturing sector were analysis and compared to any researchers. That is, thank you.
Thank you, Manoj sir. Anyone having any question regarding the presentation? So I have a question. Did you compare these machine learning algorithms in your paper?
No, sir.
It was a survey paper, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So proceeding towards the next presentation, I request Anisha L, Merit Anisha L, to present the paper.
Yes, sir.
And the topic of the paper is Edge Biomagic Harmonious Labeling of Some Disconnected Graphs.
Okay, sir. Is it visible, sir?
Yes, visible.
Okay. I am Merit Anisha, research scholar from St. Jude's College, Tuttur. I am under the guidance of Dr. M. Regis and under the co-guidance of Dr. T. Nicholas. My topic is Edge Biomagic Harmonious Labeling of Some Disconnected Graphs. Introduction. Graph labeling is an assignment of integers to the vertices. Edges are both in a graph based on certain criteria. Rosa introduced the graph labeling in 1960. Sedlak introduced the graph labeling, introduced the magic labeling in 1996. Ringle and Erdo called this labeling as edge magic. J. Bhaskar Babuji introduced edge by magic labeling of graphs in 2004. Graham and Sloane introduced harmonious labeling in connection with error coding, correcting codes and the channel assignment problems. Justin Tanna defined the graph as harmonious if f from v to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. q minus 1 is injective and the induced function f star from e to 1, 2, 3, etc. q defined as f star e equal to uv equal to f of u plus f of v mod q is bijective. Based on this, I have introduced a new labeling, edge by magic harmonious labeling. So definitions, here I have used two disconnected graphs, one disconnected cycle, another one is t copies of sun graph. So cycle definition, a path Pn is obtained by joining ui to the consecutive vertices ui plus 1 for 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to n. A closed path is called a cycle of G. A sun is a cycle Cn with an edge terminating in a pendant vertex attached to each vertex and it is denoted by Sgn. The t copies of the sun graph is denoted by T of Sgn. This is a main definition and edge by magic harmonious labeling of a graph G equal to V comma E with P vertices and Q edges is a bijection F from V of G union E of G from 1, 2, 3, etc. to P plus Q such that for each edge xy in E of G, the value of f of x plus f of y mod Q plus f of xy equal to K1 or K2, where K1 and K2 are two distinct constants. Main results. In this section, we proved disconnected graphs NC4 and the T copies the sun graph T of Sgn or edge by magic harmonious graphs. First theorem, the graph NC4 admits an edge by magic harmonious labeling for all n. The vertex set ui, vi, wi, xi for all 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to n and the edges set ui, vi, vi, wi, xi, ui for all 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to n. The graph NC4 has 4 n vertices and 4 n edges. First case, n is odd. Define a bijection f from v union e to 1, 2, 3, etc. 8 n such that f of ui equal to I 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to n, f of vi equal to n plus I 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to n, f of wi equal to 2n plus I for all 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to n, f of xi equal to 3n plus I 1 less than or equal to 1 I less than or equal to n, f of ui vi equal to 7n minus 2i plus 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to n, f of vi w equal to 5n minus 2i plus 1 for all 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to n minus 2. In this way, the remaining edge labelings are given from the above labeling. There exist two magic constants, k1 equal to 8n plus 1 and k2 equal to 8n. From this, we can conclude that the graph NC4 admits an edge by magic harmonious labeling for odd n. Next case, n is even, the vertex and the edge labelings are given. Then from the above labeling, there exist two magic constants, k1 equal to 8n and the k2 equal to 8n minus 1. Therefore, the graph NC4 admits an edge by magic harmonious labeling for even n. From the above two cases, we can conclude that NC4 admits an edge by magic harmonious labeling for all n. This is the example, edge by magic harmonious labeling of 5C4 with two magic constant K1 equal to 41 and K2 equal to 40 and edge by magic harmonious labeling of 4C4 with the two magic constants. Next theorem 2.3, for n greater than or equal to 3, t greater than or equal to 1, the odd t copies the sun graph admits an edge by magic harmonious labeling for
your slide is not moving. If you can move the slide.
It's not moving, sir.
It's not moving.
Now is it visible, sir?
No, ma'am, it is not visible. Please share again.
Okay, sir.
Is there any problem, ma'am?
Oh, wait, sir, I will. Now is it visible, sir?
No, no, it is not visible. Are you in the concluding part, ma'am?
Sir. Sir, now is it visible?
No, no, it is not visible. Yes, now it is visible. Please start.
Okay, sir. Sir, is it visible now?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Next theorem 2.3, for n greater than or equal to 3 and t greater than or equal to 1, the odd t copies the sun graph admits an H bimagic harmonious labeling for all n. The vertex set is V equal to Vi, Vij, comma Uij for all 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to n and 1 less than or equal to j less than or equal to t. And the edge set E equal to Vij, Vi I plus 1j and Vij, Ui j for all 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to n and 1 less than or equal to j less than or equal to t union v1j vnj for all 1 less than or equal to j less than or equal to t. Then the odd t copies then the t copies sun graph has 2n t vertices and 2n t edges. First case n is odd, the vertex and the edge labelings are given. Using the above labelings, there exist two magic constants. One of the magic constant k1 equal to 4nt minus 6n plus 3 and the other magic constant k2 equal to 6nt minus 6n plus 3. Therefore, the odd t copies the sun graph admits an H bimagic harmonious labeling for odd n. Next case n is even. The vertex and the edge labelings are given. From the above labelings, there exist two magic constants. One constant is k1 equal to 4nt and the other constant k2 equal to 4nt plus 1. Therefore, we conclude the sun graph, the t copies, the odd t copies, the sun graph admits an H bimagic harmonious labeling for even n. From the above two cases, we conclude the odd t copies, the sun graph T SGN admits an H bimagic harmonious labeling for all n. This is the example. H bimagic harmonious labeling of 5 copies of SG5 with constant K1 equal to 73 and K2 equal to 123. Next example, H bimagic harmonious labeling of 5 SG6 with the K1 equal to 120 and K2 equal to 121. Next theorem, for n greater than or equal to 3 and t greater than or equal to 1, the even t copies the sun graph admits an H bimagic harmonious labeling for all n. Here the vertex and edge labelings are given. Using the above labelings, there exist two bimagic constant, that is k1 equal to 4nt and k2 equal to 4nt plus n. Therefore, we conclude it admits a bimagic harmonious labeling for all n. Next, this is the example for 4 copies of SG4. There exist two bimagic constant. The conclusion, in this paper we proved the disconnected graph NC4 and the odd and the even t copies the sun graphs are H bimagic harmonious graph. As references. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. From the audience, any question? Now I request Miss Rini Elizabeth to present her paper. Miss Rini, are you there? Next, Rubina Khalik.
Yes, sir.
Please present your paper. And the
Yeah,
title
sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
title of the paper is Gompat's Model in Cancer Cell Growth with LE Effect Under Fuzzy Environment, a novel approach.
Am I audible and is my screen visible, sir?
Yes, you are audible and your screen is visible.
Thank you, sir. Shall I proceed?
Please put it on
Yeah.
slideshow.
I will move by my side slide, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Myself, Rubina Khalik, a research scholar from the Department of Mathematics from B.S. Abdurrahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai, pursuing PhD under the supervision of Dr. Parvez Iqbal. And today I am going to deliver a topic entitled as Gompertz model in cancer cell growth with LE effect under fuzzy environment, which is actually a novel mathematical approach. Yeah, my contents are on which I will enlighten a bit because time is not allowing us, and I will take care of that also. Introduction to cancer, mathematical modeling in cancer, objectives, mathematical model, novelties, results, and conclusion. First, I will define my problem. Actually, cancer has been one of the major causes of morbidity and mortality globally, but by a bigger extent in the African regions. Cancers are caused by combined genetic and non-genetic changes induced by environmental factors that basically trigger inappropriate activation of specific genes, leading to a neoplastic transformation or abnormal cell growth. And nowadays globally its burden is increasing. Almost in 2020 it was about 19.3 million cases incidences of cancer worldwide. Now, mathematical modeling in cancer. To fight against the cancer, multidisciplinary research is going on with stand to biology, such as physics, chemistry, nanotechnology, etc. But mathematical models have proved useful for deriving a detailed understanding of mechanisms and processes in cancer. Mathematical models serve as a link between experimental and computational biology, and it provides us a qualitative research with fundamental results. Yeah, the objective of my work was actually I had done this work, and this work is under review this time for publication in elsewhere. Now, my objective was at that time to develop a mathematical model of tumor growth under fuzzy environment. Most of the cancer research has been done in crisp environment, but impact parameters are not always certain. Sometimes they are uncertain because the dynamics of the cell population can be affected by environmental changes such as food availability, birth and death rates, and migration, etc. So fuzzy environment should be taken as a part of it, and I have taken the fuzzy environment. And next was to use Gompertz equation with LE effect for modeling the cancer growth patterns. I used the previous population model which has been used by the most of the scholars in cancer research, and I used that model with modification. Modification was in this equation, that LE effect here, and uncertainty was accommodated by the fuzzy set theory. In this work, we discuss population model in the form of differential equation in which cell population growth is influenced by the LE effect, which is an ecological effect that states the relationship between population density and the growth rate. Yeah, now my mathematical model was this. This is the Gompertz equation with LE effect here with initial condition n of t naught equal to n naught, and here n represents the total number of cell density, and lambda represents the growth rate, and ln represents the logarithm. Here in Gompertz equation, actually it is the generalized form of logistic equation, but in logistic equation it is the increasing rate of survivors, but in Gompertz equation we have here put the negative logarithm, and sign is decreasing, so it means the decreasing rate of survivors. And with K is the carrying capacity, the holding capacity beyond which it can't be resistant the cell density. And here A is the LE threshold. Before discussing the strategy, I will show the novelties of my work. I have developed Gompertz equation is formulated in fuzzy environment with LE effect, in which I have mentioned the coefficient that was the initial condition, and both of the conditions are taken as fuzzy numbers. And I have shown that how a fuzzy model is converted into corresponding crisp model. Because I first fuzzify the model, I put the imprecise parameters by taking the fuzzy numbers, and after that with the help of AlphaCut I solved that model, and after that I fuzzify that model into a corresponding equation, because that model was not able to analyze analytically. And after that I use the generalized Hukhara derivative concept, which is basically a differentiability concept, and with the help of MATLAB software I converted it into a corresponding linear equations. After that I solved it with the help of generalized Hukhara derivative. These are the novelties of my work, and this is the result. Here we can see that these are the graphs. Actually, during the generalized Hukhara derivative concept, the definition states that it is of two types: first GH derivative and second GH derivative. These results are coming from this first GH derivative. Here it is the decreasing growth rate, but in these graphs we can show that here this curve, this line represents the degree of freedom, this degree of membership function actually. And this is the time rate, and this is the cell density. This is the graph of growth population with respect to time, and with input of LE effect. Here I have put it a LE effect in it. For this cancer growth model under the fuzzy environment, both the initial value and coefficient greatly affects the solution of the model. Greater initial value than LE effect threshold leads to the cancer cell population rises towards K, but beyond smaller than LE effect it vanishes, it decreases slowly with respect to the time. Here there are two positive equilibrium points here for the Gompertz model with LE effect. The first corresponding is the carrying capacity. I have already told you the carrying capacity. Here I have mentioned the carrying capacity is 0.7. Beyond it will not resist, and beyond this 0.1 it will show the decline of the cell population, because beyond 0.1 is the LE threshold. There are two equilibrium actually, LE threshold and K. These are the two possible equilibriums. Here uncertainty, to show uncertainty in initial value and coefficient around the threshold, it could cause the extinction of the cell. Next results were these are also the results from the first GH derivative. Here we will show that here smaller the initial value than A, it will decrease the cell growth, but greater the initial value than A, it will abruptly increase the cell growth and leads to the carrying capacity. After that it will not increase, it will take the plateau size, and after that Gompertz model will allow us to decline again. Here it will be the sigmoid curve, and this last graph for 1 for membership function 1, it shows the decline automatically. In this paper, the great interest has been developed in using fuzzy logic methods in cancer growth modeling, because mathematical modeling with fuzzy mathematics is nowadays a trending research. Use of fuzzy logic is a beneficial way to improve the accuracy of parameters, because parameters are not certain at same time, but these are uncertain. I have already told you how the uncertainty might be occur in parameters. So that we can improve the accuracy of parameters, estimation of the parameters can provide us early detection of the disease, so that we can target a best possible therapies. And this method, actually the generalized Hukhara derivative method, proved a powerful method to analyze the pattern of the growth. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any question from the jury, from the audience?
Yes. Yeah. One question.
Yes.
Why you choose fuzzy? Why not any other numerical method?
Because cancer is itself fuzzy in nature. Because cancer in human body, cancer changes its degree, cancer changes because of the body temperature, because of the immunity. So fuzzy uncertainty, to tackle the uncertainty with fuzzy mathematics, it was the best suitable tool.
And one suggestion, whenever you present your work,
One question.
you show your graphs, right? And before showing graphs, you tell how to develop these graphs. Where is your mathematics? Where is your fuzzy, right? You have to show your fuzzy equations. Before showing these
Yes,
graphs, you have to show
actually,
your
sir.
fuzzy equations, how you solve these equations, right? Okay, nice presentation.
Yes, actually, sir, I can show that, sir. These mathematics are also taken in my paper. I will show that, sir. I can show. If you want, sir, I can show.
Okay, no issues, but it's a suggestion when you present your work.
Yeah, sure, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir, sure, sir. I will take
Okay,
care of
thanks
that.
for nice
Thank you, sir.
presentation.
Thank you, sir.
An-
Thank you.
Another
One
question. I have another
one question
question,
from.
please.
Okay, please, sir.
Okay, please. You
What
have
do you?
used fuzzy number, as rightly Dr. Athar said, but you have not mentioned what type of membership function you consider in your model. Please, it's very important also.
Yeah.
And
Triangular membership
triangular,
function, sir. Yeah, sure.
and the justification. Why do you consider triangular? Why not other trapezoidal or exponential
We
or
can use
hyperbolic? What is
it.
the
We can use trapezoidal also. We can use trapezoidal also. But sir, in literature, trapezoidal membership function was already used. So I thought that a triangular membership function would be the better for me to
Okay,
make
one
the
more question.
difference.
If you use any other, right? You said I used trapezoidal. If you use any other, the result you have shown, they may remain same or changed.
No, changes will change definitely.
Yes. There is a mathematical difference between this triangular and rectangle.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Modibo is here. He is
Yeah.
expert in he's expert in fuzzy. Maybe he tell you.
Yeah,
But
sir. In fact, if we use a different method, differentiability concept methods, definitely result will not be the same. A result will be tending to the same exactly desired result, but there will be definitely changes.
yes, yeah.
Okay?
Thank you so much for your presentation. One question from my side: that what tools you used for your research?
MATLAB, sir. MATLAB.
Okay. So this is not my area, but I have a question. How can you
Yes, sir.
differentiate the cancer cells and normal cells?
Because
It just
in
depends.
cancers, yes, sir. I will show you. I will tell you the examples, sir. Cancer cells. Like if someone tells you that it's raining. After raining, the surface gets erosion like, so cancer is like that, and body becomes at that time acidic. Simply body becomes acidic, and after it is not easy to recognize the normal cell and cancer cell. That's why the scholars are this time still doing the same research, because we are not tackling this cancer exactly. If we are hitting the cancer cell, definitely normal cells will be also damaged.
Right. Okay. Thank you for the presentation, and it is very nice presentation because you interacted with the audience and many questions from the audience were there. Now proceeding towards the other
Thank you,
papers,
sir.
I request P. Paul Hawkins to present his paper. P. Paul Hawkins, if he is present in the audience. Okay, no issue. Next one is Shivani Sharma. Miss Shivani Sharma.
Yes, she's present.
Good
Please,
evening,
ma'am,
sir.
present your paper. And
Okay.
and the title of paper is A Class of Generalized Operator Quasi-Equilibrium Problems. Please share your screen, ma'am.
Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Just a moment. Just a moment, sir. Yeah, something is happening.
Please open your presentation.
Okay, just a second, sir.
Okay. Minimize it. Yes.
Yeah, now is it visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
If possible, put it on slideshow.
Okay. Now I'll be moving my slides, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. I'm Shivani Sharma, and I'm a research scholar in Lovely Professional University, Punjab. And the topic of my paper presentation is a class of generalized operator equilibrium problems. And basically, before coming to the results that we have proved, I wanted to give a slight glimpse of what variational inequalities and what the equilibrium problems related to them are. These variational inequality theory, this has been introduced in 60s and it is very, very efficient for the study of partial differential equations and other fields also. And it has a wide range of applications in various fields, be it in industry, finance, economics, or other fields. And the variational inequality theory is a very powerful and unifying methodology for the study of equilibrium problems. And they provide very effective and powerful techniques for a study of various problems arising in partial differential equations, mechanics, optimization, control, and other fields also. And basically, the variational inequality problem is to determine a vector x star belonging to the feasible set K contained in the Euclidean space Rn such that f of x star transpose into x minus x star is greater than or equal to 0 for every x belonging to the feasible set K. And this is the geometric depiction of the variational inequality problem. So there are 9 different classes of variational inequality, and Kazmi and Roth, they introduced a class of variational inequality in 2005, which is known as operator equilibrium problem. And they include scalar and vector equilibrium problems as special cases. Now, for that, we have to take to Hausdorff topological vector spaces. And Lxy is the space, suppose x and y are those Hausdorff topological spaces, and Lxy is the space of all continuous linear operators from x to y. And K is a non-empty convex set contained in it, and C is a set-valued mapping from K to 2 raised power y. And CF is a solid convex open cone such that 0 is not contained in the cone. Now, if there is a bi operator F from K cross K to Y such that F of G is equal to 0 for every G and F in K, and such that F of Fg that does not belong to the minus of cone, then this type of equilibrium is called operator equilibrium problem. Now, basically what we have done in our paper, in this work, we have introduced and studied a generalized operator quasi-equilibrium problem in the setting of topological vector spaces, and we have proved some existence results for the solution of problem by applying CF quasi-convex escaping sequence in Hausdorff topological vector spaces. So, yes. For the main existence theorem, we need some definition. First is the graph of the multi-valued map, and it is defined as P from D. Suppose it is a set in a set of all the linear continuous maps from a set W to Z to pi of Z. Suppose it is a multi-valued map. Then the graph of the multi-valued map P from D contained in LWZ to pi Z is defined as G of F is equal to all the ordered pairs Fz belonging to D cross Z such that F belongs to D and Z belongs to P of F. And let P be a multi-valued map from the range of P to D, then the inverse of P inverse is defined as all those F belonging to P inverse of Z if and only if Z belongs to P of F. And third concept that we need is that if for each F belonging to D and any open set V in Z containing PF, there exists an open neighborhood U of F in D such that P of F is contained in V for all F belonging to U, then P is called upper semi-containers. Now there, coming to the existence results that we have proved, there is a definition. Now let's see from B to pi Z be a multi-valued map such that for each F belonging to B, CF is a multi-valued map with convex cone values in Z
A multivalued bifunction f belonging to f of b, where f of b is the family of multivalued maps from b cross b to pi z, is called CF quasi-convex if for all f g1 g2 belonging to k and lambda belonging to the closed interval 0 1, g lambda is equal to lambda g1 plus 1 minus lambda into g2, and we have f of f g lambda is contained in f of f g1 minus cf, or f of f g lambda is contained in f of f g2 minus cf. Now I'll come to the theorems that we have proved. First theorem, suppose B is a set which is contained in LWZ. This is suppose a non-empty compact and convex set, and C from B to pi of Z is a multi-valued map. Such that for each f belonging to the set B, CF, it is a solid, convex and open cone, and 0 does not belong to it. And we are taking an order topological vector space ZCF, and we are also taking some multi-valued maps, f belonging to FB and S, and closure of S in B from B to pi of B, such that for each f belonging to B, SF is a non-empty convex, and for each G belonging to B, S inverse of G is open in B, and closure of S in B is upper semi-continuous. Now we have certain conditions, certain assumptions. First, that F is CF quasi-convex. Second is that the graph of G, this is closed for all F in B. And third, for each G belonging to B, this F is upper semi-continuous with compact values on B. And fourth, F of F is contained in C naught F. Then we have proved that there exists F naught belonging to the set B, such that F naught belongs to closure of S of F naught in B, and F of F naught G, it is not contained in minus of the cone C of F naught for every G belonging to S of F naught. So this was the first theorem. And the second, existence theorem. In the second theorem, what we are taking B to be a non-empty subset such that it is a union of Bn, and Bn is an increasing sequence of non-empty compact and convex subsets of B. Rest of the conditions, they are the same, that C is a multi-valued map and it becomes a cone and it does not contain 0, and Z and CF is the order topological vector space, and F, S and closure of S in B, they are multi-valued maps. And the assumptions, there are 5 assumptions which we have taken in this. The fifth one is different. The fifth is that for each sequence Fn in B, with Fn belonging to Bn and n belonging to n, which is escaping from B relative to Bn, there exists m belonging to n and gm belonging to bm intersection S of Fm, such that for each Fm belonging to the closure of S of Fm in B, F of Fm and gm, it is contained in minus of the cone. Then there exists F naught belonging to B, such that F naught belongs to closure of S of F naught in B, and F of F naught G, it is not contained in minus C of F naught for every G belonging to S of F naught. So this was the second theorem. And the third, in the third theorem, in the third theorem, we are taking B to be a non-empty convex subset of a locally convex Hausdorff topological vector space, and D is a non-empty compact subset of B, and C is a multi-valued map, and that is a cone, and 0 does not belong to it, and the rest of the assumptions are the same. And then we have proved that there exists F naught belonging to B, such that F naught belongs to closure of S of F naught in B, and F of F naught G is not contained in minus C of F naught for every G belonging to S of F naught. And it has a wide range of applications also. Now, the conclusion, in our work, we have studied a new class which is known as generalized operator quasi-equilibrium problem, and established existence results for using escaping sequence and CF quasi-convex in the setting of topological vector spaces. And the operator quasi-equilibrium is a generalization and improvement, and it includes scalar vector equilibrium, variational inequality problem as special case. And these are the references that I have used. So that's it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Any question from the audience?
Yes, just an observation.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Hello, yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, please, please.
I just observed that the presentation, the PPT is just like paper, not like a PPT complete. So I think it should be a form of PowerPoint presentation, a slide,
Okay.
point wise, like that. It's very hard for somebody to follow it. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Sir observed that your PPT is in the form of paper, like 2 columns layout is there. In PPT, we just mention points and diagrams. So that is
Yes,
a
sir.
proper format of the presentation. In fact, it was a nice presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Now I request Valency PM for the presentation of the
Yes,
paper.
sir.
So this is the last paper of this session. And the title of the paper is Zoom color labeling of corona of 2 graphs. Please present your screen. Okay.
Am I audible and PPT is visible, sir?
Yes. Please start.
Good evening to all. I am Bebin CVM, doing research in the Research Department of Mathematics, NMCC Martha, under the supervision of Dr. Linda K. Wilson. My area of research is labeling of graphs. Here, I am going to present singular labeling of corona of 2 graphs. A positive integer n is perfect if it is sum of all of its proper positive factors. An overview of this concept: in 2003, R.H. Sungler defined a new kind of numbers called as singular number, in which the positive factors have been partitioned into 2 disjoint parts whose sums are equal. Formally, singular number was proposed by Clark et al. B.J. Balamurugan et al. Introduced the idea of singular labeling in the year 2013. In this study, we investigate singular labeling of corona of 2 graphs. These are the basic definitions and result using following theorems. Definition: if a positive integer n can be subdivided into 2 disjoint subset of equal sum by the positive divisors of n, then n is called a singular number. For any prime p not equal to 2 and positive integer alpha with p less than or equal to 2 raised to alpha plus 1 minus 1, the number 2 raised to alpha p is a singular number. Let n is equal to 2 raised to alpha p raised to beta be a positive integer, then n is a singular number if and only if p less than or equal to 2 raised to alpha plus 1 minus 1 and beta is an odd number. If n is a singular number and p is a prime with GCD of n and p equal to 1, then np raised to l is singular for any positive integer n. Let g is equal to v of g, e of g be a graph. An injective function f from v of g to n is said to be singular number of the graph g if the induced function f star from e of g to n, defined as f star of xy is equal to f of x into f of y, is a singular number for all xy belongs to e of g, x comma y belongs to v of g. The corona G1 corona G2 of 2 graphs G1 and G2, where Gi has Pi points and Qi lines, is defined as the graph G obtained by taking 1 copy of G1 and P1 copies of G2 and then joining by a line the ith point of G1 to every point in the ith copy of G2. It follows from the definition of the corona that G1 corona G2 has P1 into 1 plus P2 points and Q1 plus P1 Q2 plus P1 P2 lines. Theorem: the corona Pm corona Kn bar m comma n greater than or equal to 1 admits singular labeling. The graph Pm corona Kn bar has vertex set V is equal to V of I, Vi such that 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to m union Vij such that 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to m, 1 less than or equal to j less than or equal to n, and edge set E equal to Vi plus 1 such that 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to m minus 1 union Vij 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to M, 1 less than or equal to J less than or equal to N. Define an injective function f from V to n such that f of Vi is equal to 2 raised to Ip, I is odd, 2 raised to Iq, I is even, 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to M. F of Vij is equal to 2 raised to j minus 1 into M plus 1 plus I, 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to M, 1 less than or equal to j less than or equal to N, where P and Q are distinct or less than 10. The induced edge labels are calculated as follows. F star of Vi plus 1 is equal to f of Vi into f of Vi plus 1, which is equal to 2 raised to 2i plus 1 p cube. 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to M minus 1. F star of Vij is equal to 2 raised to j minus 1 M plus 2i p, I is odd, 2 raised to j minus 1 M plus 2i q, I is even. 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to M, 1 less than or equal to j less than or equal to N. Clearly, we can see that all the edge labels are Sum-Keller numbers. Therefore, Pm corona Kn bar admits Sum-Keller labeling. This is an illustration of the graph P6 corona K5 bar is a Sum-Keller graph with P is equal to 3 and Q is equal to 7. The corona Cm corona Kn bar M greater than or equal to 3, N greater than or equal to 1 admits Sum-Keller labeling. Define an injective function f from V to n such that f of Vi is equal to 2 raised to Ip, I is odd, 2 raised to Iq, I is even, 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to M minus 1. F of Vm is equal to 2 raised to M pq. F of Vij is equal to 2 raised to I minus 1 into n plus j, 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to M, 1 less than or equal to j less than or equal to n, where P and Q are distinct odd primes less than 10. With this function, we get all induced edge labels are Sum-Keller numbers. Therefore, the graph Cm corona Kn bar admits Sum-Keller labeling. In this illustration, figure 2 shows C7 corona K3 bar is a Sum-Keller graph with P equal to 3 and Q equal to 5. And figure 3 shows C6 corona K4 bar is a Sum-Keller graph with P is equal to 5 and Q is equal to 7. The corona theorem, the corona Pm corona Pn, M comma n greater than or equal to 1 admits Sum-Keller labeling. Define an injective function f from V to n such that f of V is equal to 2 raised to Ip, I is odd, 2 raised to Iq, I is even, 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to M. F of Vij is equal to 2 raised to I minus 1 n plus j, j is odd, 2 raised to I minus 1 n plus j, q cube, j is even, I is odd, 2 raised to I minus 1 n plus j, p cube, j is even, I is even, 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to M, 1 less than or equal to j less than or equal to n, where P and Q are distinct odd primes less than 10. With this function, we get all induced edge labels are Sum-Keller numbers. Therefore, the graph Pm corona Pn admits Sum-Keller labeling. This is an illustration for the graph P5 corona P4 is a Sum-Keller graph with P is equal to 3 and Q equal to 5. Theorem, the corona Pm corona Cn, M greater than or equal to 1, N greater than or equal to 3 admits Sum-Keller labeling. Define an injective function f from V to n such that f of Vi is equal to 2 raised to Ip, I is odd, 2 raised to Iq, I is even, 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to M. F of Vij is equal to 2 raised to j minus 1 M plus I, j is odd, 2 raised to j minus 1 M plus I q cube, j is even, I is odd, 2 raised to j minus 1 M plus I p cube, j is even, I is even, 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to M, 1 less than or equal to j less than or equal to n minus 1. F of Vin is equal to 2 raised to n minus 1 M plus I, PQ, 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to M, where P and Q are distinct odd primes less than 10. With this function, we get all induced edge labels are singular numbers. Thus, the graph PM corona Pn admits singular labeling. In this illustration, figure 5 shows P4 corona C3 is a singular graph with P equal to 7 and Q equal to 5. And figure 6 shows P3 corona C4 is a singular graph with P equal to 3 and Q equal to 5. Theorem: the corona Cm corona Pn m greater than or equal to 3, n greater than or equal to 1 admits singular labeling. Define an injective function f from b to n such that f of vi is equal to 2 raised to I p I is odd, 2 raised to I q I is even, 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to m minus 1. F of vm is equal to 2 raised to m pq. F of bij is equal to 2 raised to j minus 1 m plus I, j is odd. 2 raised to j minus 1 m plus I, q cube, j is even, I is odd. 2 raised to j minus 1 m plus I, p cube, j is even, I is even. 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to m and 1 less than or equal to j less than or equal to n, where p and q are distinct odd primes less than 10. With this function, we get all induced edge labels are singular numbers. Thus, the graph Cm corona Pn admits singular labeling. In this illustration, figure 7 shows C5 corona P4 is a singular graph with P equal to 7 and Q equal to 3. And figure 8 shows C6 corona P3 is a singular graph with P equal to 5 and Q equal to 3. These are the references. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation, ma'am. Now, I request Vijila Rani to present the paper. Vijila Rani, are you there?
Rubina Khalik, please mute your mic. Rubina Khalik, please mute your mic.
Please share your presentation.
Ma'am, please complete your talk within 5 to 6 minutes as we are running out of time.
Ma'am, please share. Your presentation is not visible. Please stop and share again.
Sir, am I audible? Sir, hello? Hello?
Please, but please share the presentation.
Okay, sir. Sir, is it visible?
Presentation is not visible. Your screen is visible. Please open the presentation. Please open the presentation.
Is it visible, sir?
Just a PDF is visible, but it is black. Please open the presentation. Please open the presentation.
Is it visible, sir?
Please. It is okay
Sorry
now.
for the inconvenience, sir.
Please start.
I am Vishila Rani, research scholar under the guidance of C.J. Shegaran, Associate Professor, Department of Mathematics, Pioneer Kumarasamy College. My title name is Inverse Isolate Domination on 4 Regular Graph with Grid 3 and Grid 4. This is my abstract. My introduction includes some basic definition I am using in this paper. My main definition is inverse isolate domination number. Suppose we said S is a isolate dominating set. It must contains at least one. It is a dominating set of G. Then and it must contains one isolate vertex. Then we select from V minus S for a dominating set of G. It is called S dash, and if it is called inverse isolate, inverse of isolate dominating set, it dominate G also. If S dash contains a isolate vertex, then it is called inverse isolate dominating set, and it is isolate dominating number is denoted by gamma naught inverse of G. Suppose the S dash not containing an isolate vertex, then it is called weak inverse isolate dominating set, and the weak inverse isolate dominating number is denoted by gamma W naught inverse of G. And next definition is 4 regular graph on n vertices with grid 3. If V1 is adjacent to Vn minus 1, V2, V3, and V2 is adjacent to Vn, V1, V3, V4, and Vi is adjacent to Vi minus 2, Vi minus 1, Vi plus 1, Vi plus 2, where I equal to 3 to n minus 1, Vn is adjacent to Vn minus 3, Vn minus 2, Vn, V1, and Vn is adjacent to Vn minus 2, Vn minus 1, V1, such that V1, V2, VNR forms a cycle. This graph is 4 regular and with grid 3. This is a structure format of this. This is the example for structure of the 4 regular with the grid 3 graph. Then 4 regular graph with the grid 4. If V1 is adjacent to Vn minus 2, Vn, V2, V4, V2 is adjacent to Vn minus 1, V1, V3, V5, Vi is adjacent to Vi minus 3, Vi minus 1, Vi plus 1, Vi plus 3, where I equal to 4 to n minus 1, and Vn minus 1 is adjacent to Vn minus 4, Vn minus 2, Vn, V2, and Vn is adjacent to Vn minus 3, Vn minus 1, V1, V3, such that V1, V2, V3, Vn form a cycle. Then in this graph, all vertices are have degree 4, and this graph has grid 4. This is the structure for the 4 regular on n vertices on the 10 vertices grid 4. Now, second section was inverse isolate domination on 4 regular graph with the grid 3. In this section, we denote G of n comma 3 n comma 3 comma 4 by G of n. For the graph G of n, inverse isolate dominating number is equal to 1 if n equal to 5. Seal n minus 5 if n greater than or equal to 6. For G of n complement, inverse isolate dominating set is equal to 0 if n equal to 5, 3 if n equal to 6. Then next theorem, let V be any vertex of G, then gamma naught inverse of vertex switching of G of n is equal to 0 if n equal to 5, 2 if n less than or equal to n less than or equal to 10, 3 if n equal to 6, 11 if n less than 11 less than or equal to n less than or equal to 16. Seal n minus 1, 5 if n greater than or equal to 5. Let G be the Cartesian product of G of n and K2. Then the isolate dominating set of G is dominating number of G is equal to seal n by 3 if n congruent to 1 mod 6 to seal n by 6 if n not congruent to 1 mod 6. This is the example for n congruent to 1 mod 6. This is the example for n congruent to n not congruent to 1 mod 6. Third section was inverse isolate dominating on 4 regular graph with grid 4. In this section, we denote G of n, 4 by G star of n. For G star of n, inverse isolate dominating set is equal to 4 if n equal to 4, seal n by 4 plus 1 if n congruent to 4 mod 5, and seal n by 5 if n not congruent to mod 5. Then for the complement of G star of n, inverse isolate domination number is equal to 3 if n equal to 7, 2 if n greater than or equal to 8. For a G switching of n is equal inverse isolate dominating number equal to 5 if n equal to 8, 2 if n equal to 9, seal n by 5 plus 1 if n congruent to 4 mod 5 and n greater than or equal to 10, seal n by 5 if n not congruent to mod 5 and n equal to 7 and n greater than or equal to 10. Let G is obtained from addition of G of n and K2. Then the inverse isolate dominating number is equal to 1. Suppose G is a Corona product of G of n and K2. Then inverse isolate dominating number is equal to n. This is the example of Corona product of G star of 8 and K2. Then if G is obtained by rooted product of G of n and K2, then inverse isolate dominating number of G is equal to n. This is the example of G star of 8.
Ma'am, if possible, please conclude.
These are my references.
Okay, thank you. Any question from the audience? Now I call upon some names who missed their presentations. Mr. Sagar. Mr. Pranav Sharma.
Yes, sir.
1 second. Paul Hawkins. Miss Rini. Mr. Pranav Sharma, please present your presentation, but please complete it within 5 minutes.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Please
Thank
stop.
you, sir. Okay, sir. Hi, good evening to all. My name is Pranav Sharma and I am a research scholar in Himachal Pradesh University, Department of Computer Science, and I am doing my PhD under the supervision of Dr. K.L. Bansal. So today my topic is cybersecurity analysis and cyber attack prevention using VAPT tools. What we know is VAPT is a generalized form of vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Today, in the modern scenario, if you talk about last 10 to 20 years, the devices related to internet have extremely increased in number, right from our mobiles to our smartphones and including our laptops and our computer systems. Even the field of computer science had evolved in such a manner that even the devices related to our household items like ACs and TVs and washing machines are even controlled through IoT structure. This has increased the concern of various vulnerabilities that arises in our system. In order to make a secure environment and secure vulnerability-free environment, what we need to do is we have to analyze each and every vulnerability right from the beginning. For doing this, what we can do is we have a process called vulnerability assessment and penetration testing technology, but in which what we do is firstly we use to find the loopholes or flaws that exist in our system due to some maybe due to some confidentiality, integrity, or availability issues, or maybe due to some random errors that are done during the development of a software project or a operating system. Some type of, as you know, some vulnerabilities are like 0 days vulnerabilities that are kept themselves knowingly by the vendor, so that it can be used later on to do some kind of attack in order to gain the access of the system. So I would not be wasting much time in introduction. Let's come to the vulnerability assessment and penetration testing procedure. The life cycle of the vulnerability assessment and penetration testing evolved right form the scope. In the scope, what we are going to discuss is we are going to discuss about the various testing methodologies like black box, white box, or gray box. As you know, black box testing is type of testing in which the internal details of the systems are not presented, only the outward details are present, and we have to use these technology over the external network to perform the vulnerability assessment of the system. Then there is a reconnaissance. In this, we are going to use is we are going to use some SQL injection query or XSS, cross-site splitting language, and with these technologies we are used to find the reconnaissance. In this, what the main motto of this type of system is to find the details of operating system, which type of operating system we are using, and what are the database related to our system which can be accessed. Once we get the detail of database system or operating system, it becomes very easy to perform the attack. So in the first phase of vulnerability assessment, we are going to find the details of the system to which we are going to perform an exploit. Okay. Next, we are going to find about the information analysis and planning. After finding the certain information, strategic information related to the system, we are then ready to perform our penetration testing. In the penetration testing, we are going to use some kind of techniques like statistic analysis, manual testing, automated testing. In the manual testing, only the knowledge of the attacker is used to attack the system. Otherwise, most of the times we have got some type of automated testing tools like Kali Linux, Wireshark, and there are many other tools I will be showing you later that can be used to perform the random automated testing of the penetration testing of the system. Now, in the next stage, we are going to find the privilege escalation. What is what we mean by the privilege escalation is that we have to gain the access and we have to exploit a bug or design flow presented in the system that is going to elevate our extension through some application or some other measures. In the last, we are going to calculate the result analysis. What are the results? What we have find, and we are going to document those results and make a report. It is done in case we are performing the vulnerability assessment. But in the times of attacks, these things are not performed. Only attacker will come to your system. He will perform the attack, and after that, he will do a cleanup. Cleanup is a very important step of vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, because during the cleanup, what we do is we are going to keep the system in previous state, at the state we have attacked the system. This becomes very necessary while performing a vulnerability assessment or penetration testing attack. That is most of the time happen with us. We don't know that we are being attacked. Okay, let's move a bit further. These are the popular vulnerability assessment tools. Right now you can see on the screen. More probably we are using Metasploit, and that Metasploit is used mostly in Kali Linux. These are the most powerful and advanced system that you can use to perform any vulnerability testing on any type of the system. Even these are used in hacking stuff also. We can I have a less time, otherwise I would have shown you some SQL injection query and some XSS splitting attack. Even using a simple asterisk in even a web address, you can get the details of the DBMS of the web server. That is, even the web server that we are using, we can get the details, which operating system it is working on and which is a network server it is associated with. Next, what cyber attack prevention using VAPT. In this, what we can do is, generally we can document all the vulnerabilities, all the loopholes of the system through vulnerability assessment, and we can create a detailed write-up of the problem. What are the loopholes available, or what are the problems that are being faced during the attack. After that, after finding the vulnerabilities or loopholes of the system, that loopholes can be modified or can be fixed by the administrator of the system. If we know about the loopholes, simple firewalls are not even capable of holding some attacks. As you know, attacks are day by day increasing in frequency, and even the style of attacks are also changed. You can see that we have recently we are having the attack of Pegasus. Pegasus is nothing but a spyware which was used by Israel, and in India it is being used right now, and it is tracking the system and details of the system. Mostly in the present time, we are already facing a lot of privacy issues. Our whole data is just a click away. Even Google has all the access to our accounts and all the. You give me access of any person in the Google account, and I will tell you where the person was staying from the last time he is using his phone and where he is lying and what he is about to tell you the truth. So proactively, what we can do is we can use this vulnerability assessment technique to find all the loopholes, and then penetration testing technique to actually exploit the system. And after exploiting the system, we can generate a detailed report, and that detailed report is presented to any of the administrator of the web system, and that administrator can fix these issues, thereby fixing the attacks that could be possibly done on the system. So these are some threat actors types which I found suitable to tell you. Like, these are script kiddles. They are generally the naive users who have just started the hacking. Most dangerous ones are that nation and states terrorists and hacktivists. Hacktivists are such people who have no intention of getting the money or any other material issues. They have just problem with the government or the political problems. They just try to defame the government or perform such type of attacks. And nature attacks, cyber warfare. Maybe you have all listened about Stuxnet. Stuxnet, that attack was performed by Israel and America on Iranian nuclear facility. I hope you have all the knowledge of that. Are all the systems that can be fixed by using BAPT tools and technologies. These are some primary security and privacy goals. We consider CIA as a very critical tradition for this: confidentiality, integrity, and reputation, which can be used to fix the certain issues. In this, so we concluded that if we have the prior knowledge of the system, or if we can use the tools that are previously available, we can give the vulnerability a number common in the CVE numbers, and we can update the database, that is National Vulnerability Database, and use that database and scoring system to score that vulnerability on the scale of 1 to 10. And we have one database available for the vulnerability, open source vulnerability database, that is developed by Open Web Application Security Project, OWASP, and that is used extensively throughout the web. These are my references which I have used. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions from the audience? Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. Welcome.
Now, with this presentation, I am concluding the session. The last session, 8th session of this international virtual conference on recent trends and techniques in mathematical and computer science.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Jamil Ahmed, sir. Thanks for your valuable suggestions.
I am also thankful to Dr. Athar Sahab and Cape Comorin Trust for inviting me as a session chair. So I am very thankful to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Jamil Ahmed, sir.